Welcome back to Theory Thursday. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite Christmas songs and doing an analysis of it. Let's get into it. So today we're going to be doing an analysis of the Christmas song, aka Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. It's one of my favorite Christmas tunes, and I did this arrangement. If you want to find the sheet music and download it for free, you can go to the link in my website that is in the video description. So throughout this video, you're going to be hearing some audio examples. And if you want to go find the full recording of this arrangement, it is on the talented Lora Mouna's YouTube channel, and that link will also be in the video description. So let's get started. We'll start off with the intro, and let's just hear it. So, we're in the key of C major. It might not seem that way from the first chords, but all this is a big 2-5-1. So we've got this D sharp minor 9 to D minor 9, which is pretty much just a passing chord. We're passing from D sharp minor 9 to D minor. And here we have no chord written, but that's not entirely true. You can think of this as one big, pretty much B diminished idea leading to this C over G. And then the D minor 7 flat 5 over G is pretty much just a big 5 chord. That leads us here to 1. And let's listen to the first verse.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows.
All right, so from here, we get started with this C chord, which we landed on after the intro, and we are walking up the scale in diatonic seventh chords. So we've got this D minor 7, which is the 2 of C, and then it goes up to the minor 3, which is E minor 7, the major 4, F major 7, and here we go back down to C major. So nothing too special there, it's all diatonic. From here, we have this D minor 7, and then we have this E7, which is our first hint of a tonicization, which is when we go outside of the key to land on a chord. So this E7 is functioning as the 5 of A minor, so it's a 5 of 6. You can see that here, it goes to A minor. After that, we have this B flat 9, and this 6 to 7, flat 7, to 1 idea is very common, especially in this kind of music. You've probably heard this progression a lot. And from here, on this C major, we go back down to the B flat, and then back up to the C chord. Here's where it gets a little interesting. So we see that we have this F sharp minor 7 chord, and then we have the F sharp 7 flat 5 and the E major 9. Now, at first glance, those don't make a lot of sense, but actually it is a tritone substitution 2-5-1. So we've got the 2, which is this F sharp minor 7, and then we've got the 1, which is this E major 9. And in between, we have this F7 flat 5, which is substituting for the 5 of E major, which would be a B. So all this is a tritone sub, and it's pretty common to flat the 5 anytime you have a dominant chord. That's just something that happens in jazz. So after this, we've got this E6, which is pretty much just staying on the E major idea. It's pretty much a passing chord. Then we get to the E sharp minor 7, A sharp 7, D sharp major 9, which is another 2-5-1, this time in D major. This one's pretty standard. We've got the 2 minor 7, 5 7, 1 major 9. And then we have a similar idea that we had in the previous measure, where this D sharp 6 is just staying in the D major idea. Next, we've got another tritone substitution, 2-5-1, this time in our home key of C major. So we got the D minor 9, so it's the 2. And then this C sharp 7, sharp 9 is substituting for a G chord. It's a tritone away, and we've got the sharp 9 to add a little bit extra tension. And it goes to the C chord, which is diatonic. Then we've got the D minor 7 chord, which, as we've talked about, is a diatonic 2 chord. And we have this same motion where it's going up diatonically and then back down in the scale. So E minor 7, diatonic 3, diatonic 4, back down, 3, 2, 1. And then we have a repeat of the idea. So D minor 7, E7 sharp 9, we're just adding a little bit more tension than we did in the first verse, and then back to A minor 7. So this is just like what happened in the first verse where it tonicized A minor. This time we just have more tension in both the 5 and the tonicized 1, which would be 6. We go back, we get this B flat 9 idea to C7, C major 7, another standard flat 7 to 1 idea. And here we can see, same idea that we had in the first verse. We got a C major 7, C6, staying in the C major idea, and then another tritone sub 2-5-1 to E minor. Except this time, we've got a series of chromatic chords, and we are moving down chromatically to C. If you want, you can think about these as a series of 2 5s. So 2, 5, 2, 5, 1, except they're tritone subbed. So this is subbing out for G, and this is subbing out for A. And then we get here on the C6 9 chord. Finally, we land home on C. So let's take a listen.
Tonight, they know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly.
Okay, so let's break down this section. Most of this is not in the key of C. If you'll see here, we have a G minor 7 and then C13, which is not truly functioning as a diatonic C chord. This is another 2-5-1 going to our F major 9. We have an F6 over C idea, just keeping it in F major, but we're dropping this root note down to a C to help the movement to go back to a G minor 7. And then we have another 2-5-1 in F major. This time when we get to the F6, it is staying on the F root because we're about to go to this E sharp chord, which is technically an F chord, except this is functioning in a 2-5-1 of D sharp. So we've got 2, E sharp, 5, A sharp, 1, D sharp. Okay? So that's why it's written that way. You'll commonly see that in jazz music. These notes are enharmonic, but because of the function, it's written differently. So from here, we've got another 2-5-1 outside of the key. This is a 2-5-1 in G, but we're going to G dominant 7 instead of G major 7 like you normally would in a 2-5-1 because we want to land here on this C chord. So even though this is a cadence, this in itself is cadencing back to our home key of C so that we can get to the next section. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
Okay, so from here, we've gone back to C major, and we are once again walking up diatonically to F major 7 and then back down. And we've got the same chord idea here in the first verse where it tonicizes A minor, goes to B flat, back to C, so that flat 7 to 1 movement. And then we've got 1, and then a 2-5-1 tritone sub to E minor, just like we had. And then we've got some interesting chords here. So we have this E minor 9, D sharp minor 9, D minor 9, G7 flat 9 to C. So all this is we see this 2-5-1 here in C major. All this D sharp minor 9 is a passing chord to get there from the E minor 9. Okay, then we go into the solo section, and I'm not going to break down the solo, but I will break down the harmonic analysis of it. So let's just go ahead and take a listen. Here in this section, we start on C major, and we've got a G minor 7, C7 to F major. So this is another 2-5-1 idea, and we keep the F6. It's the same idea we had in the last few times, where we were just keeping this F major idea going, and we repeat that, and then from here, we transition into a new 2-5-1 idea. This one is D sharp major. And if you'll notice, these changes are familiar. We did see them earlier in the verse. This is pretty common for jazz literature. When you take a solo, you generally solo over the verse chords. So when the solo ends, G7, G7 flat 9, and then here we are back to the beginning verse, and I'll play it out and then we can analyze the end, because this part is just the verse repeated.
And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
This whole entire last section should be very familiar. The chords are the exact same. The accompaniment''s a little bit different, just to spice it up. The melody's the same, the lyrics are the same. Not much to say. The only thing that changes is when we get around here. So we've got this familiar C major 7, C6 idea to this F sharp minor 7, F9. So what we're doing here is we are building tension. This is acting like a tritone sub 2-5-1 to E, and we get there, but instead of E major, like it has been, this time it's E minor. That way we can continue going chromatically down, get this D minor 9, C sharp 7, flat 5, flat 9, and then that is acting as a tritone sub to C major to end it out. Again, these are passing chords here, and you can think of them as 2 5s if you want to. And then to end, we just have a C major chord, C major 7. It plays Jingle Bells. That's all there is to it. So, this is where we'll end the video, and I'll see you guys next time.